Hi, Pat the Podcast Editor here. How can you get the absolute best from the people you work with? Today, Dan and Lloyd are talking about cultivating relationships in a way that will see you get more in return.
Surely everyone gets an equal service, Lloyd. So this episode's pointless because there's nothing you can do to impact getting more. No? Am I wrong?
Definitely wrong. Completely wrong, Dan.
Now, whether it's your colleagues in the office or the people cleaning your toilets, growing and maintaining relationships goes a long way to getting the best in return. But it does go both ways, and you have to show that you value the work they do if you really want those results.
They provide a great service. Oh, I've just seen you've gone live with your new website, ABC Cleaning Company. Do you want a testimonial from me as a customer or anything? Proactively, getting in the good books of who you're buying from, or if it's your employees, thinking what is important to those people.
Yeah.
So, how can you start getting the best from anyone you do business with? Stay tuned and find out. You can also stay tuned to find out how you could win a free pizza from Dan and Lloyd.
There's absolutely no point of this.
Terrible competition because we're not getting any value from that whatsoever. I suppose we're doing nice things for listeners.
I think it'll be funny though, won't it?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Right, I think it's time we got into it. Get comfortable. This is episode 56 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Why should anyone listening to this podcast care about getting the most from anyone you work with? Sounds a bit boring.
Well, business efficiency is why.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, a nice dry subject. No, I think so. Getting the most from anyone you work with is basically how you can have a more successful business, because it means I put in less resource and I get out more value. So if you're talking I'm working with Dan, if I'm a knob to him and therefore he doesn't want to work hard for my business, then I'm not going to get much value out of what I'm investing in working with Dan. If I'm working with someone who's providing my cleaning services for the office, if I don't get the most I can from that, or I'm paying more to get a worse service, then you're going to have a less efficient and less profitable business.
Surely everyone gets an equal service, Lloyd. So this episode's pointless because there's nothing you can do to impact getting more. No? Am I wrong?
Definitely wrong. Completely wrong, Dan. So even if someone's telling you that they give everyone an equal level of service, an equal amount of attention, an equal amount of value, they're definitely lying. I think even if they're doing it subconsciously, so whether it's one of your employees or whether it's someone supplying your business something, if you think of everyone you work with, speak with, provide any value in your life or your business, there are people you put much more effort in, or there are businesses you put much more effort in for various reasons. So I know clients we've worked with previously, if a client really bends over backwards to help you in turn feel really like you want to do anything
obliged
to do the best job you can for them. If they speak to you really politely and are really lovely in every communication they have with you, you feel obliged to do a really brilliant job for them. And if they're very rude to you and don't actually care about you as a person, you feel the other way.
Less so.
Yeah. And I mean, there is one thing I said about business efficiency, getting the most out and putting the least in. However, I don't fully believe in this approach to the extent. So someone like Jeff Bezos will look for...
Or Brewdog.
Or Brewdog, where they just whip all their staff and stuff. Allegedly. That was a joke. That's not true. They don't do that. Don't sue me. They will look at all areas of the business and try and be as most efficient and lean as they possibly can. So hang on, we're paying those 3 people to do those 3 jobs. We could probably just get Sandra to do all of those people's jobs. She'll have to work late. She'll hate her life, but we could pay 1 salary rather than 3.
Sweet.
So that makes your business more efficient, more profitable. You can grow quickly. You can take money out.
Not the best culture,
you can buy
though.
a yacht.
Doesn't sound like the best culture there, Lloyd.
No. But I really don't believe in this in the long term. And I first thought about this because I used to read a lot of businessy books and stuff, and it was all about this: be as lean as you can, so get the most as you can out. So again, you might be working with a supplier, right? Cleaners, you've quoted me to clean the office. Each week, you want to charge £100 for the office building, and in my mind, I can be thinking they'll do it for 65, and I could drive a really hard bargain. Go, come on, what's your lowest price? And they go 80. And go, well, we're not doing it. And I go 40. And then they go, oh, okay, all right, okay. And in the end, they go, oh yeah, fine, we'll do it for 65. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're putting that person in a position where that is no longer
profitable, really.
A good deal for that other person. So I think if you go so far to get the best possible deal, get the most output,
They're going to cut
in,
corners somehow, or they literally physically can't make money by doing it as good.
And I first read this in a book that James Caan wrote, one of the dragons from Dragon's Den, and he basically said he used to negotiate the best deal he could. I read this about 5 years ago, so if James Caan's listening, I might be making this up. Negotiate the best deal he could. So say with these cleaners, 65 quid, and then they go, okay, 65, and then he'd go, okay, I'll pay you 85. So he'd know he'd negotiate them down and be like, I don't want you to do a thing for the lowest possible thing you can do, and not like me as a customer. I'll pay you 85 for that. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
You're then someone that cleaner wants to do a good job for. You're still profitable for them as a business, so you're an important customer. They appreciate that you're not just trying to pay them the least.
Go on.
And he was saying, I mean, obviously James Caan wasn't talking about a cleaner, he was talking about a supplier for one of his massive businesses. But he was saying, if I pay 5p more for this product than other suppliers, when that supplier has an issue and is like, oh my God, we're going to be late on delivery for some of our clients.
They actually care about you.
Who are they going to be first on the list? They're going to go, we'll definitely deliver to James Caan. He pays us 5p more per product and genuinely cares about our business. And I think that's... So
that's
the
really
other
good.
way, not necessarily trying to get the most you can. I think trying to get a lot out of it, maybe get 90% of the most you can, but don't always go that way.
That's reminded me of when people ask us for a discount. And to be honest, we did an episode on pitching last week. To be honest, not that often people ask for a discount with us.
No.
Because they're not buying like a £5 sharpener or something, or they're not like, it's quite a high value, high return service. And now my answer is no. We don't provide discounts because we've got the evidence to show that we can deliver on our promises. We've priced this very fairly. Do you want it or not? And then I think that adds confidence sometimes as well.
When you're providing a high quality service as well, or high quality product or whatever, we're not competing on price. We don't want to try and be the cheapest.
No.
We're doing a really good job. So this is how much is a fair price for us to do this really good job. So you think there's no reason to negotiate down on price. But interestingly, we're saying, how can you get the most out of people? That's what they're doing. And we have been negotiated down. There's a client we started working with a few months ago, and I actually thought she sort of negotiated, and I thought, you can tell she's been in business a while because she's actually looking at it thinking, okay, these guys are really good. Oh, I could save a bit there if I kind of do this in this way. And I think, fair enough, everyone's trying to get a good deal. But again, it comes down to that thing of, if we are working with 3 clients that have negotiated, I'm speaking hypothetically now for any business, 3 clients that have negotiated us down to a cheaper rate and 3 clients that are paying what we believe is a fair price, who I mean, even subconsciously, who is going to get the better service, I think.
I feel like this podcast episode is a contradiction from what you said, though, because this episode is about how do you get more? How do you get more? But you're saying, don't try and get more because, let people be fair to people.
No,
so why are we talking about this?
No, but I just wanted to say that you can go too far to that extent and end up getting less.
Right.
I feel there's like a peak. There's a peak right near the end where you're getting the most you can.
Yeah.
And if you try and push it too far, it goes down and you don't get good value.
So if someone's listening to this and they actually want some kind of practical advice rather than just listening to us waffle on about how could they, so maybe they're getting a new supplier for something or they're working with someone, how can they get the most from that relationship and be the chosen? The James Caan tip was really good. I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything, other nuggets that you
I
can
think
of?
so. Even if you are a customer or a client, you're the person who is paying for a service or paying an employee. I think you're going to get the best out of that relationship if you think about what they want and what's important to them. A lot of people have the thing of, well, I'm paying you to do it, so I don't need to think about that. I'm the customer. And that's fine if you want to think like that, but that's not how you're going to get the most out of it. For example, a lot of suppliers and things that we pay, quick payment is something that's really nice for them to have, because if you're a company or a business that pays late or takes a long time to pay or queries everything and thinks, oh, I'm going to hold some of that back, that £5, because you didn't do that quite right, that person is going to be like, oh, they, when they're busy, they've got 2 customers they can work with on something.
The person that's crap at paying, or
yeah, oh, I know Lloyd pays me the day after I do the work, even though I say it's he can pay me 15 days later. Whereas Simon, he's supposed to pay 15 days later, but he always pays 45 days later. Who's going to get the better service?
not Simon.
Yeah. So, and obviously that's just about time, quickness of payment and cash flow and things. But there's lots more things, actually thinking they provide a great service. Oh, I've just seen you've gone live with your new website, ABC Cleaning Company. You've been doing a great job for us over the last couple of years. Do you want a testimonial from me as a customer or anything? Proactively, doing things like that.
Clever.
Again, getting in the good books of who you're buying from, or if it's your employees, you are, or if you don't have that business model and they're freelancers or whatever, you're basically sort of buying their time and creativity and productivity. So thinking what is important to those people. Yeah. Because that attitude, I think we've gone past
I'm
the point
the customer,
of,
so
I pay you,
a...
so I don't need to think about what you need. I think that's so old-fashioned,
outdated. A good
outdated.
business won't work with shit customers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that... Can I share one of the tips I think I've got? And
I would love you to share a tip and a story, Dan.
So
thank you for your input.
I think having insider info is key.
Insider info? What do you mean?
So insider info about the business or the industry you're trying to work with. And I'll tell you why, and I'll give you a story. So when I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, there used to be this thing called Elite Club, where you basically upsell customers with extra insurance, upgrades on cars and that kind of thing. And I was taught, I kind of had free reign on what I'd charge for these things, because they were like added bonuses. So you try the highest amount. If they seem like a person that's tight and wouldn't want to pay it, then you're like, how about it for less? And that
so you have a target of selling this stuff, and they go, try it for 25 quid.
Yeah.
If not, you can...
And basically, if you had... You ultimately wanted to have as many of your cars on rental for as long as possible. So if you know it's come up to a weekend and you were closing on a Sunday and you had like a Mercedes, you want someone to, you don't want that on your forecourt because it's not making you any money. So you'd potentially give someone that for like 20 quid a day as an upsell, when normally it's like 250 quid a day, because you're like, you just want it. So I had that insider knowledge of that industry. So, sorry. When I left Enterprise and I actually rented cars myself from Enterprise, I knew that. So what I'd do is when I turned up, I'd look on the forecourt and look at what cars they had there, look at the really nice shiny BM, and I'd think, that could be a potential upgrade that I could bargain. So then when they did their whole sales spiel to me, which I knew anyway, they were trying to upsell me the damage waiver that I didn't need. And I was like, no, thank you, don't want that. But that BM, for a £5 a day, can I upgrade to that? And they'd be like, no, we can't do it for a £5. And I'd be like, £7? And you've got to get a really good upgrade because you've got that insider info. So I know that's a very specific example, but even if we keep mentioning cleaners, I don't know why, but even if you're looking for a new cleaner, I'd try and speak to someone you know who's a cleaner. Like, and another example of this, my mates in Brighton started a really cool non-alcoholic drinks brand called Peak. Go and check it out. It's really cool.
How do you spell it?
Peak.
Peak.
Yeah. It's got all these, it kind of gives you a natural energy and stuff. It's really cool. And he's looking to work with a Brighton marketing agency to help him, someone local. And we've had long chats, and he's asked me, what should I be looking for? What are the alarm bells that, and a marketing agency doesn't know what they're doing? And he's spoken to me before to get all of that advice. And that's going to help him get a better service from his marketing agency because he's spoken to another marketing agency owner.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. So that having insider information, it's just going back to our previous point of knowing what's important to them.
Yeah.
What's going to help them?
That's true, actually.
So
isn't it?
like the
upgrade.
enterprise thing. What's going to help the person serving me? They've
that'll get
got
you a
these sales
better-
targets, and and I think so. We've story time. We've been. I think the reason we keep talking about cleaners in the last couple of episodes is because we've switched cleaners a couple of times recently.
Riveting stuff.
And it's interesting. So we were working with a cleaner.
We hired a cleaner.
We hired a cleaning company. They were doing a really good job in my eyes.
Amazing
I really
job.
liked them.
Office smelt lovely.
Yeah,
Didn't they?
yeah. And then basically they became unavailable for a short period of time for whatever reason. So we looked into other cleaners, and it was really interesting and going from the point of understanding what the person wants. So this new cleaning company, which I obviously won't mention by name,
Stephen.
They
Stephen. That was his name.
Oh, okay.
No, it wasn't.
Stephen's Cleaning.
Yeah.
I mean, you can forgive them for thinking this. Thought they want a really good cleaning service. You'd think that makes sense.
Yeah.
What I'm really struggling with and was at the time is time. So I want
You're a
to
busy man.
not have to put a lot of time in, but get the office clean to a good standard. So this Stephen's Cleaning kept basically trying to meet me and trying to get me to read things and do sign things. And so, for example, the initial contract. We need to get this contract signed. Can we meet and chat about the service you've received? And this contract with loads of pages to read.
Yeah.
And I basically said,
No.
Can you just send me a contract and I'll
So I
sign
can sign it digitally.
Because, and there was lots of these things, and I think they were thinking they want the best possible cleaning service. So I'll keep asking to meet him to make sure that we're covering everything he wants. And what I wanted was
time
saving. and time saving and just cleaning to be quite good.
I remember you getting quite frustrated.
Yeah. So I think that's a really interesting thing. So for Stephen's Cleaning, they didn't understand that when they're cleaning an office building, part of the service is, not taking up that person's time potentially, for me and maybe for others. And they weren't delivering that. And in the end, we stopped working with them because the service wasn't quite as good as the old ones, and they always wanted stuff from me, whereas the other ones just get the job done every week. I don't have to do anything other than pay them, and
this goes back to what we talked about in last week's episode about qualifying. If Stephen's Cleaning would have asked you the right questions to say, what's important to you? Have you got much time available to sign this contract? You could say, if they ask that question, you could say, no, I'm really busy. I've got minimal time. I just want this to be as smooth as possible. Please don't ask me to do loads of stuff. And they go, if they were good, okay, right, that's fine.
Yeah,
Note that down in their CRM system.
We'll send this over quickly to get signed digitally, and we'll start the service. Let us know if there's anything we need to know. Whereas it went the other way of not just I want to keep meeting you. It was even after me saying I haven't got the time to meet you, please. Not even listening at that point, and then going, oh, you haven't got time to meet me. Okay, well I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Maybe 8:30, and I'll be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I've said I haven't got time. You can't just say a time and then it works.
Yeah. Another thing, what my other second big tip is thinking far enough in advance. If you keep speaking about cleaners, if you want a cleaner tomorrow, it's unlikely you're going to get a good one for a good price because the timing's not enough and there's not going to be many available to choose from. And this is a similar thing to us. When we have more time with projects we can do an amazing job. If someone says we want it done tomorrow, we're probably not going to do it because we don't want to do a bad job and we can't do it tomorrow.
We have clients that we've worked with on an ongoing basis for years that I quite often say, you could get more value from us if you give us more time and are more organised.
Yeah.
Because we want to provide the best value to all of our clients we possibly can. So when people come to us last minute for things, it's quite frustrating for us, because I'm kind of like, I want to do a really good job for you, but you're not giving us enough time to do that good job. So I would really, I mean, for business people in any industry and whatever you're looking for, I would say that's a key thing. People will charge you the same amount of money because it will take them the same amount of effort, but you're not going to get the most you possibly can unless you give the people time. And we've had some great clients recently that have been very open with timescales and have said, look, I want you to do a great job with this, the best you possibly can. We can be flexible with times as long as that happens. Yeah. And that is music to my ears, because I think, great, we can put in all the time and effort it takes to do the best we possibly can and provide the best value for them.
We've just booked a project in for November 2022, which is brilliant.
Yes, we have. That gives us lots of time.
Yeah, it does give us lots of time. Yeah. Do you have any other tips then? Is there anything else that you think to kind of get the most from anyone you're working with?
I really have 2 tips.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a dick in any walk of life, people aren't going to want to give you the best, help you, give you the best service, and make sure you understand what the other person wants.
I think that's a really big takeaway from this podcast. In all essences of life, try and understand whoever you're trying to build a relationship with or get the most from both of you, understanding what's important to them.
Talking of really big takeaways, I think we should order pizza to a listener.
Okay.
Never done this, isn't planned.
No. Okay, Lloyd, what the fuck are you going to say now?
So, if you're listening to this now, and it's in an evening, and you want pizza...
No, it doesn't have to be an evening, because...
Or whenever you want pizza. Yeah, this is fun. It's absolutely any time, and you're a listener, and you want pizza now, DM us, me or Dan, your order, and the first person to do it will order it. There's absolutely no point of this.
Terrible competition, because we're not getting any value from that whatsoever. I suppose we're doing nice things for listeners.
I think it'll be funny though, won't it?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right, first one to DM us an order, you get your pizza.
Wait, is there a limit on the order? What if they send like 1,000 pizzas?
Just
follow
the advice. Don't be a dick. I'm going to be honest. If it's £1,000 order, I'm going to see another one first. Just bear that in mind.
We can upload a picture of the person with their pizza, and well, we can't because this is a podcast. Actually, we can describe the photo of the person.
Yeah. It's pretty pointless, but enjoy your pizza, listener. Whenever you get in touch.
What a great way to end the podcast.
Yeah,
a terrible competition that wasn't
irrelevant. But yeah, that's funny. Okay.
Great takeaway, Lloyd.
Oh no, we've done that. Okay. Yeah. Good takeaway.
See you next week.
Bye.